Hi everyone, I'm Namita and welcome to Yoganama. This is the third class of Hatha Yoga for Beginners series. It's a complete yoga class and we are going to focus a bit more on the hip joint today. So come join me for the practice in a tabletop position on the mat. We are going to begin by activating the hip joint. But before we even go there, let's do some cat-cow. On an inhale, look up. And as you do this movement and exhale and look down, try to observe how the tailbone moves, how the pelvic floor tilts to allow you to do this movement. As you inhale, the tailbone points up and back. As you exhale, the tailbone points down. Building awareness of the hip joint as you begin the practice. Moving into this position which is working on the spine, but the movement at the hip is articulating your lower back specifically. Let's do one more. Inhale, look up, and exhale, chin to chest, then come to a neutral position. Now lift the right knee up and just bring the right knee into the elbow and take it all the way back up. So bring in, all the way back up. So as if you're swinging the leg up and down while being in this position. Make sure you don't arch the lower back and hang yourself from the shoulders in order to do this. Core is active, palms pressing into the ground, helping you move. Just couple more here for this leg. And then release. Take a breath and we will do this on the other side. So left knee lifts off the ground, bring it close to the elbow, take it all the way up and then make this swinging action a little bit faster. As you bring the knee in and take the foot back up, minimizing any arching in your lower back. Continue moving and continue breathing as you do this. Couple more. And then release. Take a breather here. We will now move side to side, but before we do that, let's release the palms. Let's release the wrists a little bit. So bring your hands forward and open and close, making a fist really fast. Keep going. Gives us a good break from the tabletop position and we will move into it again soon. Alright, let's come back into tabletop. Now what we're going to do is lift the right knee up to the side and back, up to the side and back. Let me show it to you on the other side as well. Lift up, return, lift up, return. Only as high as it goes. What you want to avoid is, in order to lift the knee up, you're not tilting all the way to the side. You want to move within the range of motion with control. Alright, let's begin with the right side first. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and release. Widen the knees. Come into child pose and again open and close the fingers a couple of times before we come back and combine the two movements that we have done into a complete circle. Alright, rising back up into tabletop. Now what we're going to do is lift the right knee up, bring it in, back to the side, back up to the other side. As if you are tracing circles with the knee joint and being mindful that you do not lean too much to the left side as you do this. Continue moving for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Return and to the other side. Now left leg. Find your momentum first. Get the movement to become comfortable and we begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 and come back to child pose one more time and open and close your fingers for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Press the palms into the ground. Rise up into downward facing dog. Breathing in and out here in a slow, controlled manner. Pressing both the palms and the feet into the mat. Lifting the hips up to the sky. Pressing your index finger and thumb mounds into the ground. Releasing the pressure from the little finger side of the hand. And then let's come back. Bring the knees down, cross the ankles behind and we are going to come to lie down on the back for bridge pose. Since we're working on the hip, we're really going to strengthen, activate and mobilize this joint. First, we are going to do bridge pose. So draw your elbows into the ground. On an inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, gently bring them down. As you lift, remember to squeeze the glutes at the top. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Couple more rounds. 3. Exhale. One more time. Lift. Exhale and now walk the feet forward, come up onto your heels. So create a little distance between the feet and the hips and let's continue. 4, 5, 4, squeeze the glutes at the top. 3, 2, 1 and let's hold here now. 4, 5. Continue squeezing gently. 4. Press the heels into the mat. Lift up a little more. 3. Press the elbows into the ground to help you find a little more lift. 2. Last one. Give it your best. Now as you exhale, slowly release. For the next part of the practice, now I want you to grab hold of a blanket or a couple of sliders or even towel can do, paper plates can do, sturdy tissue papers can do. I'm going to fold my mats back and have my mat or my sliding cotton blanket on the ground underneath my feet. Once you are comfortable in this position, let's come back to bridge. Now from bridge, what we're going to do is start sliding the feet out, till the point that we are in this bridge position. Relax your hips down, drag the blanket back again. Let's do this 5 times. You can do this with any comfortable prop that helps you slide on the ground. Like I said, a towel or synthetic blankets can do. I have a cotton woven blanket. So let's lift up, slide the hips, the heels out, come into this position, hold for a moment, then rest and drag the heels into the ground as you pull the blanket back. So make it count, make it isometric. 4 more to go. Inhale, lift and slide, hold, press the heels into the ground, release back down, and as you exhale, draw the blanket back. Inhale up. On that same breath, straighten the legs. Hold the breath. Slowly come down. Exhale, pressing the heels into the ground. Draw this back. 3 more to go. Inhale up. Exhale. Straighten. Hold. 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 And slowly release. Draw the blanket back actively. 2 more to go. Inhale. On that same inhalation, straighten the legs. Then slowly come down, drawing the blanket back. We will do that 1 more time. Inhale, lift. Press away from the body. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then release and drag the blanket back. Awesome work. Let's just take 2 deep breaths here. Slowing down the pace of your breathing. 1 more breath. Inhale. Then as you exhale, rise up. Rearrange your mat so we can come back to our practice. All right, I'm back onto the mat. And for 1 more time, I want you to come to lie down here. Straighten the legs. And what we're going to do is lift the right leg up and down just for 5 counts. For 5 and back. 4 and back. 3, lift, return. 2, return. 1, return. On the left side for 5. 4, continue breathing. Any which way is fine. 3, 2, 1, release. Lift both legs up. And now from here, let's take the right leg down and up. So a little different. For 5. Lower back imprinted onto the mat. 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Left leg. 5. So we're really activating the lower body. 4, 3, 2, 1. And both legs up. Let's hold it here. For 5. You can bend the knees slightly if you would like, or keep them straight if that's accessible. 3, 2, 1. From here, widen the legs and cross. Widen and cross the other way. That's 1. 2, right leg on top. Left leg on top. 3, right. Left. 4, right. Left. Last time, right and left. Widen the legs and hold for 5. Lower back still stays on the ground. 4, 3, 2, 1. And feel free to use the support of your hands to bring the feet back together. Bend the knees, hug the knees into the chest. Take a deep breath in. And now as you exhale, come to a standing position. And this is the time we will quickly get hold of a chair to continue our practice. So all right, now I have a chair with me. I'm standing away from the chair about 1 arm distance roughly. We can change that as we move into the practice. Step your right foot onto the chair and lean forward as much as is comfortable. This is the point where you may feel I can step further back away from the chair. Try that. Try to also keep your knee above the ankle. Take both hands up. And if you're feeling a good enough stretch in the left hip flexor, which is this area, which also includes your quad, but mostly we are focusing on the psoas. See that. If you would like to now step further back from the chair, you can try that and lean in a little closer onto the right leg. Let's take 1 more deep breath here. Then as you exhale, bring your right hand onto the right quad and take your left hand over to the side, to the right side, coming into a side bend here. and see what that does to your hip flexor area. Does it increase the stretch? Does it help you tune in a little more into your psoas, into that muscle which connects your legs to your spine? For 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Step back. At the same point, maybe that's where you can begin, but feel free to change because we can have different flexibility on the right and the left side. So coming into your position now, whichever that is, let's take 2 deep breaths. First in this modification of Anjaneya Asana. Inhale, exhale, inhale. And now as you exhale, come into the side bend over to this side. So taking the right fingertips as if they're reaching to the left side of the body. Keeping your hips aligned. Trying to maintain your balance as well. For 5 more. 4, keep the back knee straight. 3, 2, 1, slowly release. Step down from the chair. Bring your hands onto the seat of the chair to come into downward facing dog. Just for a moment. Now as you exhale, step the right foot forward. If you have the typical yoga chair, you will be able to step up your right foot onto the band, which is around the front 2 legs of the chair. Even if you don't have that, it's fine. You can plant your foot down onto the ground, or you can have a block here and step onto the block in the same way. It's optional. We will try this, just getting a little deeper stretch into the right leg, into the right hamstrings as well as the calf muscles, and maintain this lifted position of pyramid pose for 5. And notice why I use the chair or why I'm using the props so often in the beginner yoga classes is because I want you to start moving out of this position of pyramid, which is where we may be, to this position where your spine is in a very different shape than in what I just showed you. So let's use the props. A chair is something really comfortable or easy to find at home. Even a dining table chair can work very well. All right, let's step back to downward facing dog and bring the left foot forward now, either on the heels or the foot planted on the ground. Being mindful of how the spine is, of how the tailbone is. And also remember that any cues that I share with you in classes are just for reference. Use them in moderation, not excessively, never doing anything that puts you in any kind of pain or discomfort. All these little cues that a yoga teacher may share are for you to build more awareness of your body and to explore doing the same posture in many different ways and not getting stuck in that same loop of trying to be or simulate or emulate a particular posture, irrespective of how it feels in your body. All right, exhale and step back to downward facing dog. Now from here, let's continue to walk forward, and this time I'm going to step onto the chair sideways. So my left foot is pointing straight ahead towards the camera. My right foot is pointing away parallel to the camera or parallel to the longer edge of the mat. What I'm now going to do is lean over sideways. Leaning over sideways, taking my left hand up overhead. Now I get a nice stretch in the adductors. I'm finding length in the side body, and I have modified side angle pose. Let's hold it here. You can keep leaning in. You can create a little more distance between the feet and then maintain this position here for 5, 4, And while you're holding, I want you to now check how nicely your knee must be aligned over the big toes of the front foot, and the back foot is actively pressing into the mat. These are the principles you should bring into side angle pose when you try it without the chair, and we will be doing that shortly. Let's come back out and do this on the other side. So left foot now, stepping onto the chair, leaning forward, taking the right hand up. Walk the right foot further back if you feel ready for it. And now take this time to really understand what's happening throughout the body in this posture, and what will you need to do if you had to do the same position, bring in the same sensations while you're doing the position on the mat. Continue to breathe and sink lower. Press the pinky toe of the right foot into the mat. One more breath. Then slowly release. Step away from the chair. We are going to do one twist and then we move over to the mat. For the twist, I want you to take the chair closer to the wall. Step your right foot onto the chair. Now maintaining both hips facing forward, like they are the headlights of a car. They keep looking forward. You just turn from the upper body, bring both hands onto the wall, palms pressing into the wall, coming into a twist. Avoid this wherein the hips also start facing the wall. I'm actively keeping the hips facing forward. So you can even palpate your hip bone. The bony part of the hips, they stay in this direction. You twist from the upper body. Let's be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then slowly come to neutral first, step down, and I'm going to move the chair to the other side so we can twist. With the left foot up onto the chair now. Walk the right foot back as needed. Hips stay where they are. Core pulled in strong. Right palm on the wall, left palm on the wall, and pressing yourself into this position. What's going to happen is your left hip will want to go back, your right hip will want to come forward. So press the right hip back, draw the left hip forward, and continue to twist from the torso for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then slowly release, step down, and we can move the chair away to continue our practice. All right, let's begin. Come into a wide leg stance. Prasarita Padasana. Point your right foot out, left foot turns in just a little bit. Right heel to back of the left foot is in one line. Start bending the right knee. Bend the right knee as long as your knee remains above the first 2 toes and doesn't start to lean in like this. We don't want that. We want the knee strong exactly above or in the direction of the toes. It's all right if the knee leans in a little bit, but it's preferred that your knee stays above the ankle. Hands parallel to the ground, and breathe here. Over time, as the posture gets comfortable, you can increase the distance between the feet such that your quads start becoming closer to the mat. So choose your preferred position today for 5, 4, 3, keep looking at the middle finger of the right hand. 2, 1, rise up. Let's do this on the other side. So left foot points out, hands parallel to the floor. Find your position, check in with the knee. Let's start to hold, and with time, if you are able to sink a little lower towards the ground, go for that. And for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then rise up. So this prepares us to do side angle pose. So right hand onto the right quad, left hand goes up. You did this with me on the chair. Now bring the same principles into the practice. Back foot pressing into the mat, right knee active, left hand goes up to find length. And we are here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then slowly rise up. Move to the left side. So left foot points out, left hand on the left quad, and find your side angle pose. 4, 5. Right foot active, right pinky toe pressing into the mat. That's really important here. 4, navel also pulled in. Keep it engaged, don't let the belly be loose. So navel pulls in, right hand lifts, torso active. 3, and you can look up at the upper hand, you can look down, you can look straight ahead. 2, last one. Inhale, and now as you exhale, pigeon toe the feet together and come to the back of the mat. This is where we shall begin the next part of the practice. So inhale, take both hands up. Exhale, come into your Malasana or yogic squat, garland pose as it is also called. Let's take a couple of moments to get used to being here. If this is challenging, then this is what you will work on today. You can work on this by lifting the heels up, rolling a blanket under the heels, keeping a couple of blocks under the heels, or sitting up on a block. That itself is great practice. If this has become comfortable for you, then this is what we are going to do. We are going to bring the right knee down, lift up, left knee down, lift up. Let's just do a couple of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. From here, let's see if we can walk till the end of the mat. So maybe you'll need to lift up a little bit, or you simply walk. 2, or whatever number of steps it takes you to walk on the mat. Come to the top of the mat, take a breath in here, then exhale, and let's turn around. So simply you can hop or turn around in any way. Let's walk back on the mat. So stepping forward with the opposite foot now. Maybe if you would like, you can take a couple of steps off the mat, turn around, and make our way back to the top of the mat. And remember, if this is not comfortable today, you can continue to work on Malasana in any of the variations I mentioned earlier on. All right, finally in Malasana, one more breath here. Inhale, then exhale completely. Release, come to lie down onto the side of the body. And I'm going to turn around. So we're lying down like this with the right leg down, left leg on top. Stay with this position, but if it's comfortable, see if you can come onto the top of the left foot and bring the left leg up. You can use your hand to support you. Then you lift the right leg up and down. And we are going to do 15 of these, all right? So lift up, 1, 2, 3, 4, no, you have the option to do this as well. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, very good, stay. 12, 13, 14, 15, and release. Take a breath here now. Straighten both the legs. And see if we can try lifting both the legs up now for 1, 2, 3, very nice, 4, 5, then release, take a break. We're going to get a block now between the feet and see if we can now lift with the block between the feet for 1, for 2, you can even come down onto your hand like this, 3, 4, one more time, 5, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and slowly release. Take a breath here. We shall repeat this on the other side and I'm going to turn around. So I'm still facing the camera and I'm going to move my mic out of the way and let's continue. So coming to lie down onto the left side, know that you have two options. One is to keep the foot bent like this and lift, or to bring the knee down. I'm going to maintain this position for this side. All right, let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then release, both legs straight. Let's now try 5 in this position for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, release. Now is the time to grab the block between the feet. A little bit tricky, and let's continue. For 1, 2, you can come to lie down, 3, 4, 5 and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and slowly release. Let go of the block and come into Matsya Kridasana, which is your one knee bent, second leg straight, and it's like a half frog position. We are going to do frog pose soon, so this is just going to help you prepare for that. We warmed up and used the adductors. We are stretching them out a bit now. So take a couple of breaths. If you would like, you can come to rest with your forehead on the mat or on your hands. It's your choice. For 5 more, 4 more, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Let's change sides. Bring the left knee in and breathe here. For 5 more, 4 more, 3, 2, 1. Then slowly release and come to sit up. Alright, now we are going to move into the next posture, that is frog pose, and we are going to be in it for at least 2 minutes. So I would suggest that you keep a bolster or a couple of pillows with you. I'm going to grab one as well and we shall get into the position. Alright, so I am ready with my bolster. You can use 2 to 3 sleeping pillows. The thick fluffy ones would be great. And we are going to come into wide knees position with our ankles directly behind the knees. So I'm going to show it to you from this side. Here's the position, toes pointing out, keeping the knees as wide as is comfortable and resting your elbows onto the pillows. The more you push your hips back towards the wall behind or towards the feet is when the posture gets a bit more challenging. So try to find that balance, that you're not in a very comfortable position that the stretch completely goes out of the adductors, but you push back, you will feel that point which is slightly uncomfortable. That's where you hold it. Now let's be here, breathing in and out. With time, it may get easier for you to rest your forehead onto the pillow. So if that happens, explore that. And continue to breathe. Today's practice focused overall on the complete hip joint. I did not include a lot of Anjaneya Asana or lizard pose practice, as we end up doing that anyway through our sun salutations or Vinyasa. So I tried to bring in awareness to the hip joint by using the chair as a prop, by using some dynamic movement to help you integrate the whole hip joint. And now we are concluding by stretching at the area that often does not get as much attention in most of our practices. So let's spend some extra time here. It's mind over matter. Hip stretches in particular tend to bring out a lot of strong emotions within us. So it may be that you will feel like coming out of this position, not just because it is physically uncomfortable, but because of the feelings and sensations that may arise within you. These feelings could relate to two chakras, could be your Mooladhara chakra or Swadhisthana chakra. One is responsible for your sense of security, another for your emotions and feelings. So if you can allow yourself to be here, not reacting to the emotions that may arise, reminding yourself that you are not your emotions, that you don't have to react to them. Instead, take your focus to your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Next time you exhale, we will release the position. To do that, lean forward first. Draw your toes together, then rise up. Bring the knees closer together. Take your time to do that. And remove the block or the bolster or the pillows that you may have to the side. What we are now going to do is come into a twist. So first, just let the spine be neutral, coming into this Ardha Matsyendrasana position, drawing the foot in, coming to sit up, taking a deep breath in and out, and then moving into your twist. So take your time with it, no rush. Looking back over the right shoulder. Trying to keep the left knee on the ground as the right knee is bent, being pulled in towards the body by the left hand. Then release. Let's do this on the other side. Changing the position of the legs, first coming to neutral just like we did on the other side. The body may be a bit slow after a long stretch that you held. So take your time, and once you are ready, let's look over to the left. Trying to keep the right knee on the ground as you twist. Trying to press all 5 toes of the left leg onto the floor, especially the big toe, as it may have lifted off. Continue to breathe. And now slowly release. And let's come to lie down. Let's cross the right knee above the left. Pull the knees in, coming into Gomukhasana variation, Supta Gomukhasana, grabbing hold of the outer edges of the feet. and allowing yourself to experience this position here. Now let's switch the cross of the legs. Then release. Now widen the hands so they are perpendicular to the body. Now keeping the knees together, maybe for the sake of reference, we will have a block between the knees. Drop both the knees to the right without lifting the shoulders. If the knees are off the ground, that's fine. Then come up without lifting the shoulders. Let's drop the knees to the other side. I'm going to move the mic out of the way to the left now. And let's continue to do that. Moving to the right. And then to the left. To the right. And to the left. Couple more times like this. To the right. Left. One more time. Right and left. Then return to neutral. Keep the block away. And now you can rest your legs above the bolster, as in your knees above the bolster, as you move into Shavasana. But before we conclude this session, we are going to spend a little time doing some deep breathing. So place your hands above the navel. One hand above, one hand below, lower and upper abdomen. Practicing deep breathing. Take your awareness to your breath. Simply observing how long it takes you to inhale and how long it takes to exhale. Inhaling, exhaling, inhale, exhale. Simply observing how long it's taking to inhale and to exhale. Not trying to reach a number, but simply becoming aware of what's happening right now without manipulating or influencing your breath. What is the normal pace of your breath? What is the difference between your inhalation and your exhalation? Can you observe that? And now, can you make your exhalation just a little bit longer? Can you breathe out a little slowly, taking just a little longer to empty out the breath? Do only as much as is comfortable, not forcing the breath, simply making it a little slower. And like that, continue to breathe. You're also getting feedback about your breath through your palms. Can you tune into how your exhalation feels underneath the hands? Can you make your belly go down a little bit slower? Can you make your exhalation a little bit slower? For the next few moments, continue to breathe like this, focusing on lengthening your exhalation. Now slowly relax your counting. Let the breath flow normally. And take your awareness and attention to the point between the eyebrows. The eyes are still closed. Simply take your gaze up to that hidden point behind the eyebrows. Slowly breathing in and out. Continue to look through this space, just being aware of what's happening here, trying to maintain your attention, your presence at this point, instead of getting lost in thoughts. Instead of thinking about what you need to do today, what you will eat today, who you will meet today, leave all of those and any other thoughts outside and try to repeatedly bring your awareness to the point between the eyebrows and simply looking through it. Just the act of looking at this point, being aware of this point, is a form of meditation. So continue to look, reminding yourself, I am looking through this space, this vast, endless space. I am looking through this space. The session will end now, but please continue your Shavasana if you would like to. Or you can move into a deeper meditation practice. I shall say goodbye now. Thank you so much for joining me today.